Tom says if the Lakers go 5-12, they can still be the second worst team in the NBA.
Yeah, well, they're 20 and 50.
There's only one team.
So they have 12 games left.
Games left. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they're going to at least be the second. That would be the second.
I mean, the next team ahead of them has 26 wins. So you figure, hey, there you do the math.
Where's Phoenix? Phoenix has 22, I think.
Huh?
Phoenix and Philadelphia.
Philadelphia has 26. I know that, and 26 wins.
And Phoenix is right behind.
Yeah.
Are they? 25. I don't know.
23?
I'd have to look that one up.
Brooklyn's got 13, I think. They're
Brooklyn's got it. I mean, they're the lock.
They've locked it up. But they should.
They're the winners.
They should get that protected draft pick.
Oh yeah.
The odds are in their favor if they finish in the bottom, three. They'll obviously, I don't know what the numbers are, the percentages.
Well, I think they're guaranteed. They should be guaranteed a 3. I mean to be the bottom 3 because, it's. I like it. The other night, what was it? The Cavs sat LeBron and Irving and Love against the Clippers. And then brought him back against the Lakers, So, there you go.
And the Lakers stepped up.
They did.
They were in that game. Yeah. They were ahead, and I was thinking, oh my God, they're ahead. They got to do something to lose us, and they did by 20, yeah. Right?
Yeah.
25, I think.
Yeah.
But D'Angelo Russell was terrific. 40 points.
40 points.
It was just, and it sort of gives you a hint of what that team might be like. With him at the shooting guard, there's the argument of whether he should, is he better with the ball or off the ball? And he played most of that game against Cleveland off the ball as sort of a shooting guard and not a point guard. His line is, look, I'm a basketball player. I'm not a point guard. I'm a shooting guard. I'm a basketball player. And he sure looked like one, and that's promising. And a lot of the kids got a lot of minutes, and they looked pretty good. In the last 4 games, the Lakers have looked like 2 different teams. 2 games, they looked just terrible. And then in the 2 other games, they were right in the thick of it. So against Milwaukee, and a little fighting them, too, in that game where they started some fisticuffs. With Milwaukee, but the Greek Freak, man, that kid is terrific, isn't he? That's unbelievable. Out of nowhere, it felt like last year he was great, and this year the numbers he's putting up, just terrific. So you can bring your youth along, which sort of leads to is Lonzo Ball the right guy for him? There's a part of me that hopes that he can develop defensively, and that would be a great choice. Then he can be the true point guard. You got D'Angelo, who seems a little bit better suited for driving, and his shot's getting better, so he could be a shooting guard. Jordan Clarkson. So,
but is Westbrook a free agent after the season? I thought this was
after
his final season.
Right after next season.
Is it next season?
So it's when the new collective bargaining agreement comes out at the end of this, this year, and then everybody's like free agents next year.
There's a guy, like I said, I'd love to see come back to L.A.
I think too that Walton is trying a lot of different combinations to find out who can do what, where can they be best utilized, because more than likely, if they want to make a deal during the offseason, get a big name, bring somebody in, they're going to have to they're going to have to give up one of these guys, one of these young guys. So I think he's trying to move people around, see where they best fit, see who they might be able to give up, because they're not going to be able to keep all their kids. They just don't have, other than, if they could sign a free agent, sure, but to make a trade, they're going to have to give up. They don't have anything else to give up except their youth, and they're going to have to figure out who they can afford to. They need to make a
splash somehow, though. They need to do something that's going to get people revitalized,
excited again. Yeah, they need a free agent. They need a free agent, and they're going to have money off the cap. They're going to be in good shape, salary cap wise. Yeah. They'll be able to do that.
Yeah, they'll have some money off the cap. Again, not as much. With Dang and Mozgov, those contracts are just an anchor.
Brutal.
Just an anchor. So we'll see if Pelinka can come in and forge a deal where he can unload at least one of those contracts, or both, and a draft pick, the draft pick, or one of the
Young
kids.
guys, yeah. That's what they'd have to do.
Somebody like a Paul George, or even Westbrook. I don't know. Would Oklahoma City be interested in that sort of a deal? We've got some pieces now. We've got some pieces to make that. Those are long contracts, though. There's a little longer contracts.
Yeah.
The Mozgov. Somebody just needs to see whether or not that fits for him. I don't know. Paul George would be great. He apparently is. It's well known that he would love to come
here. Yeah. He would love to. He would love to come. And they need somebody. They need a veteran presence. A guy that's going to come in there and has been there, done that. That can lead the give kind of take care of the young guys, bring them along, but he's got to have the experience. He's got to have the the numbers and somebody they respect and look up to. And Paul George would be an excellent fit.
He'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that most Laker fans would love that. Going back to Mozgov, I hate just harping on that guy, but Zebots seems like the kind of guy that fits Walton's. He's a big guy who can stretch the floor a little bit, but he can also rim protect, and he's been playing great. Now that he's getting the minutes, he's been playing great.
What was Kupchak thinking about? He rushed out there and made that signing in 20 seconds.
Too fast.
Way too fast.
Too fast.
Was Walton even on board then? Or had they hired?
That's a good question. I don't think so. No.
I don't think he was.
I don't think he was.
So how does Kupchak know that this guy's going to work into the system of a coach who hasn't been hired yet?
I guess that's one of those things where you're a general manager and the general manager is the one who picks the coach. And so he figured he could he was going to get a coach who would who see his way and have his vision, share his vision. But it was pretty clear that Mozgov was going to have some injury issues, and that he just wasn't the guy.
So did Did Kupchak think this was the savior that was going to get turn the franchise around, get everybody knocking down the gates to buy their season tickets? And
it's a contract that sort of feels that way.
Not exactly.
But nobody. One of the things I remember texting a buddy, and one of my quotes was, "Is there another Timofey Mozgov in the league that I'm not aware of?" Because we just gave this huge contract to this guy from Cleveland who
was a backup.
They didn't even play him in the playoffs.
He was a backup center.
They couldn't play him in the playoffs. He was part of their regular season plan, but they didn't play him in the playoffs.
No, never played.
He was worthless for them. And I'm thinking, what are we doing?
Jesus. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and then the Luol Deng thing sort of felt like the right fit, veteran leadership, but it was too big a contract.
Yeah, still
too long and too big.
Give Kupchak a couple of dollars, and he, I'll tell you what, goes off the deep end.
He did, and it was the nail in the coffin, because once they looked okay starting the season, and there was a few. It looked pretty good for a while, but then
10-10 after their first 20.
Yeah, and it looked promising, and then Mozgov got hurt, and there was I think another couple of injuries. I'm looking at these contracts, and so Luol Deng is owed $18 million. No, I'm sorry. He's owed $17.1 million next year. Mozgov $15.2. And then the next biggest contract is Jordan Clarkson at 11.5.
That's over $30 million for those two guys just next year.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And we're talking about the NBA luxury tax threshold next year will be $122 million. So
how many more years to go on these contracts?
That's a fourth. I'd have to look at that. I don't know that. Mozgov, I think that's at least a 4-year contract. So because it's 4-year, it can be restructured. If it was shorter, it wouldn't be. You can't restructure.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and with Luol Deng, that might be a 3-year. So I think it's.
I wasn't too upset when I heard that signing. I mean, he's played some decent ball, and I thought he might be a veteran that could come in and help. But I'll tell you what, he's been a disappointment to me.
Yeah, Zubac, he could be a good player, and he's a bargain. I mean, $1 million next year on his contract. That's great. And a lot of the kids are like that. You get Randall at $4.1 million, D'Angelo Russell at 5.6. And even like we talked about last week, Nick Young seems like a bargain at 5.7. Where he fits, also he may not be here next year.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then Jordan Clarkson's got the next biggest contract. So of the guys that are starting right now, you take Mozgov and you take Dang out of the mix. Clarkson, who's
paid,
what 25, 24.
Yeah.
He's the highest paid.
There's something wrong with our value system, man. We got the average teacher out there is probably making about $75,000 after teaching about 8 years. So, that's 18.1, 17. I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah.
And don't go to school. Drop out early and
these are crazy.
Join the
numbers,
NBA.
right?
I know. That's just
really
I'm blown away from that. All the sports and
that's why it's one and done for the college kids.